What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew? This is Ball Hawk Ifeatu Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Hey, Lions Talk Live, Thursday morning show edition. And you know what? The hairdo of destiny might not be as great as it normally is, because let me tell you, if you thought I was tired yesterday, I'm pretty dang tired today, but we'll dive into that later on in the show. Real quick, hey, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so, making that march on up the charts. We're trying to push for 13,300 subscribers, and we're roughly 41 subs away from that. Also, if you have a half second of time, it's free of charge. Reach on down, doesn't cost you a dang dime. Smash that thumbs up button, smash that like button, smash all the buttons. We try to get every episode of the show between 200, 300, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. As you can probably tell from the thumbnail for this particular video, I think the Detroit Lions, after some news that hit yesterday, are in a pretty big bad way. They're going to have to face some choices, I believe, faster than they really ultimately want to make them, if they don't want to kind of really hinge their own futures. We'll dive into that during the main topic of the day. There is some good news. There is some bad news. But the news we're going to dive into, this is a byproduct of the Lions being good for the last, you could basically say, half decade. The last half decade, the Lions have drafted well. They've done a real good job at grooming talent. Yes, I know everybody out in the comment section is going to say, what about this guy didn't pan out or that guy didn't pan out? You know what? Nobody's going to hit 1,000. Nobody's going to hit on every pick. But I think we can all agree the Lions are probably hitting on about 70%, maybe a little bit more than that of their draft picks. Because of that, there's an accumulative cost. There's a cumulative byproduct with that, and that is going to be a part of the main topic of the day. We will get into the 5 headlines now and everything in between, but real quick before we do, if you're considering buying or selling property anywhere in the continental United States of America, or in the state of Michigan where I reside, please give me a call, shoot me a text if you're looking for someone to help you with your representation. 269-998-2384. I've been in the real estate industry for over 30 years. If you want somebody who's just going to work on your behalf, not overcharge you, not gouge you with unforeseen fees that so many people seem to do nowadays, go ahead and reach out to me. It can be for commercial property, a new house, an old house, vacant land, anything real estate related wise. And I get a number of you guys do reach out. Go ahead and give me a call, shoot me a text, and we'll go on from there. All right, real quick, let's head on over to the first segment of the show. We'll get this one rocking and rolling and get into 5 headlines now. Yep, that's up. And yes, in case you're wondering, I'm a little tired because not only did the Red Wolves manage a big fourth quarter rally to win the game, we forced it into overtime. And from there, man, it was 2 great teams just punching away. Hey, March Madness underway. You could see that throughout most of the state last night. Yesterday was round 2 for the basketball postseason playoffs. We've now advanced to round 3. It's going to be a great one, I'm sure, tomorrow evening between 2 very well-coached teams, 2 diligent teams. The downside, no different than the NFL playoffs or, March Madness in the NCAA. It stinks for any team that loses, as you guys know, whether it's Major League Baseball, whatever, because when you do lose, you know what, there's just that finality. All of a sudden, everything you've worked for is done like that. You wake up the next day, there's no more practice, there's no more film prep or anything. So anyways, we won. We're going to face the team that we know pretty well. I got up real early this morning, starting breaking down film and getting ready. So apologies if my voice is a little hoarse, but hey, when you coach, sometimes you use your voice. All right, let's get into the 5 headlines. I babbled way too much, but apologies for that. 5 headlines now. Lions predicted to form scary edge rush duo with Aiden Hutchinson, $19 million free agent story. Mike Moratis of the Sporting News. You know, we've talked about this one in the offseason so far, but it does seem as of yesterday, Mike Moratis, if you go in and check out his story, he is quoting multiple different sources, including Adam Hulse, who has a lot of inside connections, I guess you could say, to a lot of the West Coast teams. He is formally predicting that Khalil Mack is going to be a Detroit Lion. He's predicting that he will also be signing about a $19 million extension or new contract to come to the Detroit Lions, I guess would be the better way to word it. He is 34 years old. I wouldn't be upset with it. I get some of you guys will love it. Some of you guys won't love it. But Mack is coming off a down year. He had 6 sacks in 16 games. Some of that was because he was injured. Some of that was I believe because Joey Bosa wasn't that great last year. They kind of, when they're both on, Bosa and Mack for the Chargers, they were pretty good. When 1 or 2 of them are off, they did affect each other. I think if you bring in Mack, I get it. You're going to have to pay him. You're going to have to pay any, productive edge rusher, though. Let's also be fair with that. I think if you bring him in and have him as part of a rotation with Zadarius Smith, Alaquin Muhammad, you're probably drafting somebody, let's be fair, 1, maybe 2 edge rushers. I think that's a pretty decent rotation, at least for next year. After next season, you're probably making some adjustments, but it does sound like, according to Mike Moratis, that he is aware that the Lions are in pretty good I guess you got to watch how you word this, but they're probably going to make a move for Khalil Mack, and I wouldn't be mad about it. But what say you guys do, crew? Mack, yes. Mack, no. You're not having to give up draft compensation to acquire him, so I'm sure that's a big reason behind it. But at $19 million a year, roughly 1 or 2 years deals, especially if the second year is voidable by the franchise, I probably would be okay with it. All right, going to the 5 headlines now. $44.5 million Lions starter makes it clear he's ready to test free agent market in new post. Athlon Sports, John Vaccaro with this one. And you guys probably already know exactly what I'm talking about. It is Carlton Davis III, in case you're wondering. A number of you guys, I know Robert texted me early this morning. A couple of you guys last night or yesterday, but sorry I couldn't get back to you. It was just, coach mode and everything. But he did come out and talk on his social media post yesterday, and basically to summarize it, he just said, hey, he signed a 1-year deal once. He's not going to do that again. He wants a multiple-year deal. I also get from CD3's perspective, he's getting a little bit older. He may only get 1 more NFL contract. If he's real lucky, he gets 2 more. He's one of the better cornerbacks in free agency. I'm not here to debate if he's the number 1 or number 2 or 3. I'll leave that to you guys to debate in the comments section. But I do think we all get it. Carlton Davis III is going to get paid, whether it's by the Lions or somebody else. And yes, I think he's worth it. How much is he going to get? I don't know, but I do think there's a real opportunity for the Lions to re-sign him. I also think there's a strong opportunity that the Lions may just have to let him go because they are going to have some people that are going to need some new contracts, some money, and we'll get into that during the main topic of the day. Speaking of that, Jahmyr Gibbs' future with the Lions just got more complicated. Fans side with this one. Story by Joseph Grasserino. So we all get it. Saquon Barkley yesterday signed a new contract, 2-year extension worth $41.2 million with $36 million guaranteed. And, if you're the New York Giants, you probably watched last year with the Philadelphia Eagles and kicked yourself in the butt for keeping Daniel Jones instead of Saquon Barkley. I don't know who's running that franchise, but they probably shouldn't be running a franchise with mistakes like that. They've got a lot of mistakes going on over there, but those mistakes did lead to the Philadelphia Eagles getting Barkley. Barkley, we all get it, had a massive season last year en route to taking the Philadelphia Eagles to the Super Bowl. Jahmyr Gibbs, when you watch him this year, especially when David Montgomery went out for a couple of games, you could see he is perhaps, if he's not the second best running back in the NFL, he's at least in the top 5. The kid's got abilities most people on planet Earth do not. He's got just a genetic coding in him that is nothing short of being some kind of video game football player. his ability to get in and out of breaks, his speed, his ability to get 3 steps and then to full speed is just something you rarely see. Lions may just have the second best running back in their franchise's history behind Barry Sanders. I'm not going to put anybody over Barry Sanders. Maybe it's because of my age or whatever, but Barry is Barry. Gibbs is special, and let's be honest, if he was on a team that wasn't the Detroit Lions, that had a two-headed monster, he might be putting up close to 2,000 yards or more in total yards between rushing and receiving just about every season. Gibbs is going to get a contract extension, and it's probably a couple years out, thankfully, but when that day happens, let's also be fair. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to get a record-setting NFL contract, and I think you will see it during the main topic of the day. This is part of what is going to affect the Lions in the now and the future. All right, next to the 5 headlines now. Lions will host 2-time national champion for first pre-draft visit. Story by John Vicario of Athlon Sports. And yes, for those who don't know, Detroit Lions are going to bring in Georgia linebacker Chaz Gramblis on a 30 visit this week per league sources. This will be the first post-combine person to come on in for an interview. Lions are doing the due diligence. I actually don't mind this kid at all. I think he's pretty decent. And if Derek Barnes is going to take off, not be here, I'm guessing he's going to be somebody, if the Lions draft him, projected to go into that same spot. He didn't have a great first couple years to his college career, but last year he did have a bit of a breakout year. He had, where was it? I lost my notes here. Let's see. He had set highs in 2024 with 40 total tackles and 6.5 sacks. So not bad for a Sam backer who didn't often blitz. He does fill ground. He does fill space. His first couple of seasons, like I said, they weren't great. He had a total of 46 total tackles in 3 years with 2.5 sacks. So last year, obviously up and away with more playing time and reps from him. I think the big question is going to be, do the Lions address the need at linebacker, if you want to deem it as that, early in the draft or later in the draft, or it's middle of the draft, late in the draft? This is probably a person of interest for the Detroit Lions, because I don't think he's going to be a day 1 or 2 pick. Maybe I'm totally wrong with that. All right, next to the 5 headlines now. Detroit Lions 5-round post-combine 2024 NFL mock draft per PFF simulator. Boy, that's a mouthful. Clutch points. Story by Ben Strauss with this one. We won't spend a lot of time on it. We'll just kind of summarize it real quick. Strauss's, I wouldn't be upset. We'll see what you guys have to say about his 5-round mock draft. Derek Harmon, Oregon, is the 28th overall pick to the Detroit Lions. I think most of the Duke crew would agree this would be a real nice addition. If you haven't seen Harmon play, let me tell you, he eats space and he shreds blocks. He gets after the quarterback. He gets after the running back. Man, I could see you almost moving him to edge and having him almost like a Reggie White at times. And if you don't know who Reggie White is, I'll let you YouTube it or something. All right, 60th overall pick, Mississippi's edge, Jared Ivey. Again, somebody who can get and shred, dip, get after the quarterback. I get why you would use him there or try to go get him. Wide receiver Tez Johnson from Oregon is the 101 or 101 overall pick. And, hey, we talked about him on the show, I want to say, last week. He's got a little bit of speed to him, so I like him. He needs a little bit more development. I don't exactly love his catch radius, but, these are teachable things. That's why I would have no problem with him. Let's see, UCLA's, I'm going to kill this name, Oluwafi Oladio from, like I said, UCLA is the 133rd overall pick. Would they be able to get him? I think he's going to go higher than that, but you know what? I've been wrong before, and it's a mock draft simulator, so are they always going to be right? Probably not. I would not be upset with this particular draft or mock draft if it came true for the Lions, but what say you do, crew? What do you guys think of these 4 picks? Let me know in the comment section. All right, and then last of the 5 headlines now. Lions flagship radio identifies 2 ideal free agent fits. SI.com, story by John Macarone. And for those who don't know who they're talking about 97.1 The Ticket. I want to say it's Anderson and Karsh, who do a radio morning show, if I'm not mistaken. They identified Nick Westbrook and Paulson Adeo as 2 potential targets. Westbrook, he's got some size. He's 6'2". He's got some wheels. He had about 500 yards receiving last year and on 32 passes, 9 touchdowns or 32 receptions for the Titans. If you guys remember the Titans game against the Detroit Lions, they just don't have a lot of stability in that offense. So his numbers, while they're not, glaring, they're not, page headline type stuff, but you have to also take into context and consideration what he was working with in the offensive schemes he was working with. I think this kid does have a lot of upside in the right system. If he was our number 3 receiver, would you be upset about it? I wouldn't myself. And of course, it would come down to the terms that they give him. And then we just talked about Carlton Davis perhaps taking off. So if you can get Adeo to come on in, another guy, he's got some ability. He can cover. He does seem like a Brad Holmes type signing, because while he's 6'1" and 200 pounds, we also know he's coming off a broken femur in week 7 of last year. So again, Brad Holmes loves to sign himself some injured players. Well, you know what? He would be just that. And because he'd be moving on from Carlton Davis, he could probably fill in to one of the secondary spots for the Lions. Probably get him and save some money too. So what say you with those 2 particular free agent possible signings being suggested by 97.1 the ticket? I think they would both come in my opinion, and definitely help improve the depth of the team. I'm not so sure if either one of them would be breakout players, but you never know, man. You give somebody an opportunity, maybe they do just that and break out. All right, let's go ahead and get over to the main topic of the day. All right, main topic of the day, as we were kind of already talking about the 5 headlines now, you can see players of interest and positions that are going to affect the Detroit Lions are starting to get paid. We didn't touch on it in the 5 headlines, but Max Crosby got a bag of cash over a 3-year deal. I want to say it was like $107 million or somewhere right around there, so don't hold me to it. I don't have it in my notes, but I know it's a 3-year deal, roughly that amount. Hey, any speculation about Mad Max coming to Detroit is probably now donezo, because at this point, Raiders have locked him up for the foreseeable future. You think about when those contracts expires, how his age will be. Not that he couldn't have something left in the tank at that point, but I just think he's probably going to retire a Raider at that point. But where this takes the Lions, if you look at our roster, we have drafted pretty dang well, and I know we talked about it a little bit early in the show, for half a decade. And you're already seeing, hey, Lee McNeil got paid, Penei Sewell got paid, Amon Brown got paid. There's a whole lot of other guys that are about to get paid by the Lions or somebody else. This means the Lions are in a tough spot when you look at their salary cap. You aren't going to be able to keep everybody. If Broderick Martin does come in and live up to any of the hype he came into the league with, you know what, then, if he has a breakout year in year 3, then you know what, he's lining up to get paid. You talk about Kobe Scoresdale, and those are the unknown guys. We all get Kirby Joseph is going to get money. There's rumors or suggestions that came out yesterday that the Lions are pretty into the contract negotiations or for an extension. Aiden Hutchinson, we just talked about Mad Max getting paid. Well, you know what? Aiden Hutchinson is going to get probably a whole lot more than that. And that's why I think the Lions need to be proactive with some of these extensions sooner versus later, because we all get it. The market's only going to go up unless you really have questions about Aiden Hutchinson's recovery from the broken leg. If you do, then I get it why you're holding off on re-signing him. Kirby Joseph, though, the next safety that signs is just going to push his contract up. It's probably the toughest thing for this franchise at this point. We all get it. They draft pretty dang well. They develop players pretty dang well. You can see the clear development in a lot of their guys when they come into the league, year 1, 2, etc. They tend to jump up. That's why, personally, I do think Enos Rakestraw is going to be pretty good in time, but most cornerbacks do take time to develop. I think Terrion Arnold is going to be pretty dang fine. I think you guys get where I'm going with all this, and man, I haven't even mentioned Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams, you can see his development. When he was drafted, I get why you draft him, because of all the speed, all the stuff you can't teach as a coach. But now that you're watching him, watching his mechanics, watching his use of his footwork, his elbows getting in and out of routes, little details like that, which most of us, if you haven't coached or scouted those types of things, you don't maybe always, normally catch on why those things matter so much. But you think about every time you move up the charts from one level of play to the next level of play, the next level of play, it's the smallest details that make the biggest gains on players. I think Jameson Williams is going to be a real fine player next year for this team, continue to develop. And you know what? That just exacerbates the problem we're talking about. He's going to get paid. At some point, the Lions are going to run out of cash, even if the salary cap keeps going up and away. because you're going to have to keep rewarding these guys that you've paid, you've drafted, you identified the talents within them, and you helped get them to where they need to be. Carlton Davis, he wasn't drafted here. We did trade for him, but he performed pretty dang well last year. Really the only knock I had on him, I thought a couple times during the season he fell asleep on setting the edge in the run game. But you know what? That's neither here nor there. Everybody's gonna have mistakes at time. What say you though, Duke Crew? I guess the big question is going to be facing this team. If you keep drafting well, what players you're willing to walk away from at some point? Because you're not going to be able to keep them all. You are going to be the byproduct of your success and your strengths as an organization. We all get it. The Lions are one of the best franchises in the NFL identifying talent. So a year or two from now, let me ask you guys, who do you think is no longer a Detroit Lion? If you're Brad Holmes this offseason, next offseason, because those are probably the foreseeable biggest ones, who are you letting walk away from the Detroit Lions? Carlton Davis wasn't drafted here, but I'm guessing there's probably a real opportunity for him to leave for somebody who's going to probably pay a little bit more because they identify him as probably the missing piece for their franchise. All right, guys. Like I said, I'm going on gas or run out of gas a little bit here today, and probably will be like that the next couple days. Hopefully, if so blessed and we keep winning, then it'll be like that. But hey, one thing at a time. All right, let's get to the top of the Duke Crew. See what you guys all have to say. All right, Michael, greetings, salutations, coach and Duke Crew. Exclamation points. One pride back at you. Lions are strong in football. Yes, they are indeed. Uskar, good morning. Duke Crew starting lineup. Exclamation point. Congrats on the win. Thank you for that. Happy to hear. The team pulled out up their bootstraps and got it done. Yeah, we had a lead in the third quarter. We blew the lead in the third quarter. We got down big in the fourth quarter. We came back. We forced overtime. Hey, it was a roller coaster of emotions. How about that? 70. Good morning, boys. Exclamation point. Congrats, coach, on the win last night. Thank you for that. We were watching the game online. What a comeback, and that's my coach. Hey, thank you for that. I always love some of our debates back in the day in key moments like that. Frank the Tank. What up, though, Eastside? Woo! Go Lions. Good to see you this morning, Frank. Johnny L., good morning to the awesome people here on Lions Talk Live. I hope everyone is doing well, and same to you, Johnny. Clark, everyone see Max got paid? I did notice that. Question mark. Hutch's new contract is going to break the Lions. You look at what Mad Max got, and let's just say the Lions wait one more year to re-sign or extend Aiden Hutchinson. How many more guys that are top-ish end edge rushers get paid between now and then? So where's his contract numbers going to be? Clark, I think you're spot on. Aiden Hutchinson is gonna be a pretty rich man. Not that he's not already. Robert, greetings, salutations, Dan and crew. Same to you, Robert. Big Eddie. Greetings, salutations, Duke. I was hopeful CD3 would resign with us, but after his comments regarding a big multi-year deal, I don't know if Brad is going to give all that. I think that's end of the day. You can't keep everybody, right? I would love to have Carlton Davis back. I think most of you guys would feel that same way. The problem just becomes, how many people can you pay? You can only keep so many at the end of the day, and Carlton Davis, I'm going to guess he's going to get somewhere around 22, 23 million. You could say, hey, what we just got bumped from the increase in the salary cap, you're just giving that to Carlton Davis. But if you give it to Carlton Davis, now you have less money for Kirby Joseph, Aiden Hutchinson, Jameson Williams. And no, they all don't have to be paid at the same time, but we get it. At some point, that purse starts getting a little dry. Robert, I believe Carlton Davis won't make the same mistake of a single-year contract. He wants multiple-year contract. Yeah, and that's what he was commenting on. I think it is post the other night or yesterday. Robert, 2 years max for Carlton? Yeah, probably. I want to say he's 28 now, so it puts him at 30. I wouldn't be surprised if some team just to out or to win the bidding war gives him a 3-year deal. The third year might be voidable though. Paperback fan, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew. Hutchinson price just shot up. Yeah, up and away for sure, my friend. Jason, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew. What is our window of time with the talent we have before having the money runs out? If we keep drafting well and developing well, I don't know if the window ever really closes. It may close on some players because, they age out or whatever. But for the franchise, and that's Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell's focus, I don't know if it will. It just, again, it comes down to how much you keep identifying the correct talent and put them in places to succeed. Johnny L. Clark Roswell, I didn't catch that. How much did he get? Yeah, 3 years. Yeah, thank you, Paperback Fan. 3 years, $106.5 million. Correct with that. Thank you. $106 million, 3 years. Trey, seeing the comments. Congrats, Coach Dan. Thank you very much. It was a heck of a game. Wow, yeah, good for him, man. Mad Max, hey, he got it. And I know there's some little debate that, hey, Mad Max isn't a top 10 edge. I don't know, man. I think he is. I don't know if you put him at number 6, 2 or whatever. I think he's highly productive. How about that? All right, Robert Hatman, how is Molly the Wonder Dog? We'll find out. Trey, hope we can keep Davis. I like him for our team. Yeah, 100% indeed. Johnny, yes, congratulations, Coach Dan. Thank you. Thank you for the team for playing well. Let's see, Tori Barkley is getting a new extension as well. Gibbs will command a massive new deal in a few more seasons. I think you are spot on with that, without question. Barkley, I get it. He's worth every penny he's going to get. Because if you take him off Philadelphia, that offense is way different. But you know what? They're not going to have to take him off that offense for at least the next foreseeable seasons. Man Bear, good morning, all. And back at you. Silver Server, good morning, Coach and everyone. I agree. And same to you. Robert, let the good times roll. Congrats, Coach. Thank you. Hopefully they keep on rolling today and tomorrow. Jess, greetings, salutations, y'all. I think we're going to need and continue to develop our talent. Too many good players going to get top dollar. We won't be able to keep them all. As long as you keep, I know we were just talking about this, as long as you keep identifying that talent and putting it in the right positions, you can have a real nice long run in this league. All right, 70. I'm hearing Kirby and the Lions have started contract talks. Is that true? I've heard reports on that. I want to say it was the Sarge yesterday who messaged me about that him and, Hutch Jr. both did send me some comments about that. Robert, all NFL teams will have the same hurdles with contracts, and the Lions have, I believe, in Brad Holmes. Yeah, Brad Holmes, if you believe in him, the front office, the last, we'll say 3 or 4 years, that's something they've done real well, figuring out how to balance these contracts, make everybody happy, but still get to work on the books. That's an aspect of running a franchise that often, I think, as media or fans, we don't pay enough attention to. How do you Scooby-Doo the books to make it all line up so you keep everybody relatively happy and going the same direction? Give the Lions a lot of credit for that. Marcus, good morning. Dan and Duke Crew, exclamation point. Coach Dan, can we do a live Lions Talk Live mock draft where the Duke Crew votes on the picks and we keep track to see how our picks perform their rookie year? I'll have to leave it to somebody to track throughout the rookie year, but let's do this, Marcus. Last year, we did do some interactive mock drafts where basically we'd run one of the simulators, and I'd give everybody like 30 seconds. Put your vote in. Who do you want here? The only thing I'm going to say is the one area we struggled is we only have so much time on the show, and I get we can't make everybody happy. We'll pull up this spot, pull up that spot. We can't do all that. Otherwise, we'd be on here for like 4 hours. So we make the best we can with it. Hey, here's what's available on the board. Maybe if 1 or 2 people might be able to say, hey, check out this position, that position. But if there's, 4,000 people watching, I can't get to everybody's comments on it. So we'll try to make it work. Just when we do the interactive mock draft, just keep in mind, we do the best we can to make everybody happy, but we can't make everybody happy. All these extensions are crazy. Yeah, they are, man. Hey, you got to love them if you're the person signing that contract. Five Fingers Freddy, good day, Duke Crew. We are always talking about who will get resigned. My question is, who will the team let walk away? Yeah, that's my thinking too, Five Fingers. Somebody ultimately at the end of the day is going to be left out from being a Detroit Lion. Could it be Carlton Davis? I have no idea, but it might be. Silver Server Kirby will be re-signed. I am sure. Yeah, I don't think they're letting him go. He's too good at what he does. Pierce, Silver Server, the ones I am worried about are Branch and Gibbs. Branch is going to get paid. Gibbs is going to get paid. The good part with Gibbs is he still have, I want to say, 2 to 3 more seasons before we're going to have to face that choice. But Branch was a second-round pick, not a first, so you don't have the fifth-year option. Pierce, Silver Server, Barkley really messed up the running back market. Yeah, it depends on if you're one of those running backs who's going to get paid. Their perspective is, hey, good job, man. I'm going to get paid too. Marcus Brad Holmes has a plan. Every year he finds a way to get better and better. He has, man. Every year he's been here, the team has improved. Quentin, greetings, salutations, y'all. Keep that Hutch, Kirby, and D, J-Mo, or on D, J-Mo, everyone needs to wake up. He ain't going nowhere. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think Jameson Williams is leaving the team anytime soon. I think he's going to be re-signed. Then it just comes down to how much is he going to be re-signed, how many years, etc. All right, I also wonder if we should reach out to Joey Bosa. There have been some rumors that the Lions could look at him. Man, between him and Mac, I don't know who you would take, who you would prefer. I haven't studied them enough to have an opinion. Silver Server, I would not be surprised if the Lions brought in another safety and moved Branch back to nickel. I remember in the scouting combine interview, he preferred nickel to safety. Okay, maybe they do. Let's see, Pierce, Art, I like him as option 3. All right. Marcus, no on the meth head Bosa. We'll take him off the list. So for free agency, I think we'll sign Mac for 2 years, then draft some replacements for him and Smith. Yeah, I could totally see that happening. Pierce, Silver Server, either way, he is about to get a lot of money. Yeah, that's probably true. Susan, well done, Coach Dan. Thank you for that. Great comeback last night. That's my coach. Hey, always happy to try to help the team win, and thankfully we got it done last night. Silver Server, Gibbs has 3 more years. Not worried about him right now. Yeah, he's got a little time for sure. Pierce and Gibbs is about to get 20 plus in a year or two. There we go. Marcus, I got a feeling we're all in on Garrett. Let's see if that feeling pays off. Voltron, Pierce Sargent, if Gibbs stays doing what he's been doing, he's about to break some contract records. Yeah, he will get paid because, assuming, stays healthy, keeps being productive, all that stuff. I mean, you could just see the talent there. All right, Pierce, Silver Server, I know I am saying the Barkley extension set the market that we need to have to beat. Yes, 100%. Voltron Force, especially after Barkley set the market at $21 million. Correct. Pierce, and can't forget that Mad Max deal at $36 million set the bar for Hutch. Yeah, here's the question. Could Hutchinson's deal be $40 million a year? You run out of money somewhere. Johnny L. Marcus, I believe you are right about that one. Could be. Pierce and CD3 pretty much said yesterday he wants him back. He does indeed. Pat Rock, Duke Crew Unite. I like the way you're thinking. Pierce, Grand Rising, Duke Crew, and same to you. Good to see you as always, my friend. Silver Server, they will watch how Aiden does. Everybody talks about Aiden as he were left tackle. All right. He started great, but had 4 to 5 sacks in one game. Wherever he treats him like he had 30 sacks seasons, he has to grow. Yeah, he'll hopefully continue to grow. Pierce, I think CD3 is going to walk for a bag of money. Probably true. Dave Bling, Davis is gone. Time to find someone else. Could be. Shamir, do you think CD3 is firing shots at Lions? I don't think he's firing shots, but I do think he understands. Hey, as an athlete, you probably get it. You have a limited time frame in your life to make take advantage of your athletic success and the dollars you're going to command. He's more than likely got this contract and maybe one other after it. So we'll have to wait and see. He's going to take advantage of the situation. Drew, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke. In my opinion, we're in good hands. We'll get it done. All these signings, 100%. I think we will get done. And good morning, Drew. Phil, good morning. Back at you. Nice new thumbnail. Pierce, Silver Server. I know just giving the numbers and what it is probably going to look like. I would be shocked if any extension he signed is under $30 million per year. All right, we'll find out. Robert, good morning. Johnny Gas. It was Johnny in the building. I guess maybe I missed him. So, hey, good morning to all of you. Pierce, I trust Brad. The blueprint is there with how Philly runs the cap. I agree. They do a pretty good job with the cap. Silver Server, Pierce, that is why they should draft a good running back because you never know in football. Tell me why they drafted Vaki other than he's sings beautifully. Hey, I like Vaki. I like him in special teams. I think you can do a lot of Swift's Army knife with him, but I get it. Until we see it, it's all speculative. Henry Moore, good morning, Coach Dan Duku. What a team. What a podcast. Thank you for that. What a time be a Lions fan. Woo! Go Lions. Back at you. Johnny L. Gotta love this crew. And, I think everybody loves you too, man. So, hey, it's mutual. How about that? Trim Reaper, what up, Coach and Duke crew? Exclamation point. Maturity isn't an age. It's a destination. Woo! I like that. I might have to write that one down, Trim. One Pride. Yo, good morning, Duke crew. Exclamation point. Let's get fired up. Sounds like Lions are setting options at positions of need as teams are cutting guys. Lions were linked to have interest in at least trade deadline. Yeah, there's a lot of truth there. 100% One Pride. John, morning, Duke Crew, and Dan, congratulations on the win last night, Coach. Thank you. I'm going to try to get a 15-second nap in sometime today. Henry Moore, great salutations, everyone. Exclamation point. Well, that winter hawk is out and about today, and I am traveling to see my cardiologist. May you all have a grand day, and same to you. Hopefully the trip goes well. Tori, find a way to re-sign our big guns. Let's hope they do. Wayne, let's go Lions. I like the way you're thinking. Michael, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew, and back at you. Marcus, beat that like and subscribe button like Coach Dan versus his opponents. Hey, we do what we can, but, hey, I felt bad for the other team last night because they played their butts off. They played a great game. Well coached, whole shebang-a-bang. It's the downside to any playoff situation. Somebody's season's going to end. Michael, at the least, we will stop hearing about that Max Crosby clown. Let Brad do his cooking, and he's about to do some cooking, I suspect. Derek, good morning, Coach and crew. Coach, you're going to need to mule to carry those bags under your eyes. Yeah, man. Yeah, they're real for sure. The Mountain Dew can't get here soon enough. Trim Reaver, Joey Bosa is old and past his prime and injury prone. Brad Holmes is trying to secure a long-term deal with him right now. Yeah, the truer words may have never been spoken. Michael, Futures laughing out loud. His entire team is in jeopardy now. What the heck is really going on with the Lions missing players to fill the roster? We'll find out. Ken, good morning, Dooku. Back at you. DM5, good morning, Dan and the Dooku. And same to you. Trim Reaver. GG, Coach. Woo! Oh, yeah. I'll go with all the above. How about that? With exclamation points. Drew, nah on Mac. Okay. Marcus, Mac, yes, if we don't trade for Garrett. We'll find out if we do make that trade. If not, then Mac, might be a good fill-in or rotational guy. Keegan, Mac, no, too old. We need to get younger ones on the D-line. Yeah, I probably will try to go after someone. Silver Server, Mac, I don't see it. We'll find out. Mac, maybe CD3, yes, sign the lockdown. He is not feeling respected. Hey, let's show him some respect. Let's see, Jay Michael, Super Bowl windows just don't stay open. Need to buy a ticket to a Super Bowl like the Rams did. Hey, maybe that's what we'll do. What if I just can't see any big outside contracts? Lions cap in 2026. The Lions have $30 million more spent next year over this year, and that's why only 30 guys in the roster and no Hutch, J-Mo, or Joseph. Okay? Boss up, Ball. What up, Doe? What's up, Man of Steel? DM5, we can't get Garrett. We need to pick up an edge in free agency and draft a draft D-line. We also need to sign CD3. I think you're good on all of those. Let's see, Michigan Panther Bride. Good morning, everyone. Been training someone this week. Haven't been able to listen. Woo! UFL in 3 weeks. Go enjoy it, my friend. Yes, we're closing in on your window. Keith, good morning and greetings, salutations. Dan of the Duke Crew. Exclamation point back at you. Mac is too old. Is he the best the Lions can afford? That might be. I don't know. I don't really know all the options out there. DM5, I think Gibbs is the best in the league as long as we use him properly. I'll go with that. Paul, that's because Barry is the GOAT, plain and simple. It's really not close for any running back. All right. Derek, why play players like Mac, who's in the declining years of a big bag? That's a great question. We can get a younger player near equal production for much less. Let's hope we can. 100%. Silvers are no, Coach. It is not your age. Barry could have run for 2,800 yards in Ben Johnson's offense and with a 17-game schedule. Yeah, and some of the different rules offensively that would probably help Barry. Yeah, I would love to see him go in this day and age. Greg, do you think we still draft an edge rusher in the first round if we sign Mac as a free agent? You rock, Dan. No, you rock, Craig. You rock. If we sign Mac, I don't think it's gonna affect Brad Holmes' draft board at all. I just don't. In the past, I don't think anything he does in free agency impacts him. He's just gonna go with whoever he feels like is the best value at that particular pick. Whether that's an edge, an interior offensive lineman, defensive tackle, who knows, man? Maybe if he thinks there's an outstanding punter at 28, he might go get him. DM5 TV, we can't get Garrett and sign Bosa, re-sign Davenport, draft an edge, and sign Sweat. D-line will have depth, plus you still have Za'Darius and Hutch. Yeah, I would not be mad if we got Sweat, although I do think he's going to get a load of cash. Davenport, you can probably get on a cheap deal and just pray that he can stay healthy for a season. Derek, good morning, Coach. Exclamation point. Give me both Bosa and Mac. Hey, maybe we get them both. Maybe we can save some money if we give them, a friendship deal or something. Detroit Lions bad guy. You don't know who Reggie White is. You don't belong staying. You're a football fan. Yeah, but understand Reggie White's, I mean, if you're in your 30s or 20s, you probably don't have a lot of familiarity with him. Let's see. Keith, I agree, DM5 TV. Craig, do you think we draft an edge rusher in the first round if we sign? Yeah, I again, if I don't think whoever we sign in free agency will impact the Lions draft board. At least that's my opinion. Let's see. Moonscar, I like Jared Ivey, tape and size, but no combine information. I still think we wait for his pro day. Yeah, could be true. DM5 TV, Keith, how's it going? We'll find out. Silver Server, imagine Barry Sanders in the Eagles offense with the defense uncertain if two follow Hurts. Who might keep it or Barry? Imagine how much room that would give a great Barry Sanders. Yeah, the great Barry Sanders, 100%. Egan, Silver Server, 3,000 yards, easy. Bad guy. Yeah, no more Mac. Thank you, God. Okay. Max, excuse me. No more Max. Thank you, God. Chad, the historian. Yeah, I'm not watching this coming year. No Max, no me. Okay, fair enough. Keith, DM5 TV, I am okay at best this morning. Thanks for asking. Okay, I'm glad to hear you're okay. Bad guy, Broderick Martin has no hype. Let's calm down. Fair enough. See, Derek Wayne, why the clickbait title? Crosby was never an option. He's not. There's nothing about Max Crosby in the headline or the thumbnail. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. There's nothing even remotely about Max Crosby in the thumbnail. So I don't know where you're getting that. Chad the historian. Let's see. It was just they didn't have the cojones to go after him. I'd have given every pickup this year and next year for him. You know, I know why people would love to have him here. So why they didn't go after him, man, that I know. Maybe they did have some conversations. I will say this. I do know the Lions, and Brad Holmes has admitted it. Dave Burkett, amongst other people in Detroit media, have come out and said they have information that, yes, the Lions and the Raiders did have conversations last year. I don't remember if they did it this year in the offseason, but that's been confirmed. At the end of the day, it probably just would have cost more than what Brad wanted to give up. Chad, the historian, JMO is a head case. Fair enough. Kim, Chad, the historian, glad you don't manage the team. Fair enough. Yeah, Kim, while we watch Crosby end up in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, some guys will make it there for sure. DM5, here's a juice receipt. Green apple, cucumber, red, green, orange, and yellow pepper bells. Baby carrots, beet, ginger, sweet potato, orange, romaine lettuce. Do this every morning and eat vegetables only. Fair enough. Jesse, we don't need Crosby. Well, not going to be an option now, I would think. DM5 for 30 days. Fair enough. Silver Server, if anybody has still any belief in loyalty, then Levi Onwuzurike should resign with Detroit at a bargain price after they kept him in the nursery for 3 years. His career could have been over if released. Yeah, maybe true. If released a couple of seasons ago, I wanted to write, but not enough cap space. Yeah, it happens, man. And that sometimes you got to do the second post. Black Lion, I'm starting to believe this cap isn't real. Look at the Cowboys. They just freed up $35 million by restructuring Prescott's contract. Why all the games? Go get Myles Garrett. Call it a day. Maybe they will. And good to see you this morning, by the way. Bad guy, J-Mo, okay, 88 targets, 58 receptions, supposedly only 2 drops. PFF says, but these numbers don't make sense. If that okay, but he's okay at catching the ball. So if you get targeted, a throw could be deemed not catchable, which is, I think, what you're going with here. He did get targeted 88 times with 53 receptions, only 2 drops. That means the rest of them just simply weren't catchable passes or outside the reasonable catch radius. Maybe that's the best way to word it. Silver Server, problem is CD3 missed 4 games each season, and he's not getting younger, that I heard. Yes, he's probably not getting younger, unless he found the fountain of Mountain Dew at the Circle K. Bad guy, for all that stuff talk that Max said about how he wants to win, he doesn't want to be in a losing organization. Money sure changed his mind. You know, sometimes it affects people like that. Silver Server, Lions did a lot of good choices with players, but also a lot of unwise ones. Fair enough. Greg, I think CD walks, and what's your opinion on bringing big play Slay? I say we do it and draft a cornerback in the 2nd or 3rd round. Slay's numbers are comparable to Davis's. Go Lions. Woo! Greg, to me, if they brought back big play Slay, I would like him to take on the Iffy Melifano role. You know, that's me. That's what I would envision for him to do. We'll see if they make that happen. Vincent E, it's looking more likely that CD3 walks. I would agree. AJ, let's see. I think Hutch is going to reset the market as well. I think Detroit and the organization want. Yeah, I think they want him. I think it's just, trying to figure out how to make it work. Maybe they do want to see how he performs on the field this year, recovering. Pastor Ben, Coach Dane, what's your playoff schedule and how can we watch? You can find it on we play Friday now. I don't know if it's 6:30 or 7 o'clock start, but you can watch it on NFHA. I don't remember the full name of the site, or Huddle, stuff like that. There's a bunch of different websites now where you can watch high school sports nationally. So if you're in Michigan, you want to watch a high school sporting event in Texas or Hawaii, you can do so. AJ, have the best story with Hutch. There we go. DM5, Brad Holmes needs to get Garrett or a suitable free agent edge. Hutch still looks like he might not be ready to begin the season. It looks like he was learning to run all over again. I think he's going to be okay by the time the season begins. Whether or not he's at full go when OTAs and training camp happens, that I don't know. Tony, I agree, and I'm tired of hearing that we can't afford to get this guy or that guy, but Philly, Dallas, Chicago, and everyone else works the cap with no problem. Get Myles Garrett, rework some contracts. Yeah, 100% there, Tony. Earl, the Lions going to be all right? I think so, my friend. And hey, good morning to you too. Kim, David Powell did an analysis. Man, I can't talk. I'll say he's been primarily playing zone and doesn't do well with man coverage like Slay, but he may not fit the Lions scheme. Yeah, if they don't feel like he can fit the scheme, I would totally get why they wouldn't go for him then. Keith, as the contracts increase, does the salary cap increase equally? No, it does not. It should. That way teams can resign their players. Yeah, the reason why they put in the salary cap, if you guys don't remember in the 70s, 80s, early 90s, you had some teams like, I'll just use the 49ers, for example. A lot of their backups were all pro Hall of Famers and stuff, and they could afford to do that because there was no cap. NFL stepped on the cap just so you could try to hopefully spread the talent more evenly amongst teams. Johnny, peace out, everybody. See you tomorrow. We'll see you then. Phil, could the Lions move Vaki to defensive secondary? Only if they feel like he would help. And if they don't move him out there, that probably tells you what they think of his ability to play at the NFL level, that position. Let's see. Miles Meyer, Earl Kenner, right? Question mark. Yep, I agree. I ain't worried, but it's fun to dream about team roster variations. Yeah, 100%. That's part of the fun of the offseason. It's basically like always fantasy football. Keith, how can we watch your basketball team play? Where? What's the name of your team? We are the Pawpaw Red Wolves. You can go to Huddle or NHFS or whatever it is. Just look at how to watch high school sports. You'll probably find a few different sites. Understand you do have to pay for a monthly service. Thomas, we're at the point now where in the next year or two, we're going to lose probably at minimum one great player and possibly two because of the salaries. Yeah, I agree with that. Keith, someone help me with that question, please. DM5, we need to go get Garrett, period. There is no one coming out of the draft that can make his impact right away. We need a stud defense like Philly has. Goff cannot compete against, quote, top defense. Fair enough. Bad guy with Garrett thing, I don't think it happens until after June 1st. It does happen. I hear from another YouTuber, and that's actually a really good idea. Garrett can happen after the June 1st. I mean, I guess it could happen, yeah. You obviously, if you're Cleveland and you're not getting any kind of draft compensation this year, it would have to be in the future. We'll see what they do. Thomas, I believe that Cleo Mack is worth the money at this point. I would rather use that draft pick than him. Okay, fair enough. I don't believe he's worth it. DM5, we need a defense that can cause turnovers every game and perhaps even score some points. We need defense to give Goff back the ball if he turns it over. Okay. Derek, last year, Mack and Bosa had 37 total tackles and 11 sacks in 30 games. I'm going to pass on both. All right. Keegan, I want to get Jack Sawyer out of Ohio State. He won't solve the problem himself, but it looks like he could be good. Yeah, some people are fans of his. Silver, at the big writers are writing a whole bunch of nonsense. Nonetheless, it is up to us to use it as a starting point. But in the end, it's up to us to keep it real. Yeah, keep it real. Have some fun in the offseason. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's the offseason. Keith, if you want the Super Bowl, go get Garrett. Then we will be 14-3 or better. Exclamation point. Super Bowl champs. Woo! I like the way you're thinking. Miles Barker. Yeah, Keegan, lots of teams have their eye on Sawyer. Yeah, I would say he's probably a person of interest for people for sure. Hartsville, we're not getting Myles Garrett. Now that we have signed him to a $35 million a year extension, I'll go with that. Josh signed for Josh Sweat to Detroit by Monday afternoon. If the Lions brought him in, man, I would not be upset at all. Harrisville, draft 3 edge rushers this year. Rotate a bunch of young dudes with Za'Darius and Hutch. Could be the way we go. Mr. Ed, good morning, Duke Crew. Are free agents just using the Lions as a way to up their payday from their home teams? 100%. I mean, hey, they're worried about themselves. They're worried about the company that is themselves. And they are going to do everything they can, their agents are, to push their salaries up to try to get them as good a deal as they possibly can, because this is what they do for a living. This is their profession. Francisco, what do you got? The cap isn't real. It actually look at the Saints. Yes, some teams manipulate it very well. Great Lakes, hey, Coach, good morning, all. If you need someone to replace Iffy in the intro, Ball Hawk Great Lakes led his team in interceptions in high school. Hey, I might have to reach out to you, my friend. Derek, very few DBs get through a season without missing a few games. It's an injury-prone position. Yeah, and let's also face it, it's the NFL. Most people do get some form of injury. Miles Barrett, let's see, Ed, good morning, Brock, Grit, and Mr. Ed. Lions just need to find a pass rusher in the draft. They already have a superstar in Hutch, okay? Trim Reaper, have a great day, Coach and Duke Crew. Woo! And back at you. Dunk Kong, hey, wise words right here. Super Bowl or bust. Good to see you, my friend. Byron, rework Jared Goff's contract to make it work to sign Miles. You know, I would put it to Jared Goff about this. You're 30, you're going to be, what, 31 when next season hits? You know, I mean, not to say he can't play another 7 or 8 years, because some quarterbacks play into their 40s now, but how much do you want that window? How much do you want that ring? You know, and he's not the only person you can ask to help out, but he's probably your leader. He's the one that's going to be the most impactful. If you're willing to give up $10 million to go get Myles Garrett, we'll say, you know what, now Myles Garrett's contract's kind of only an extra $10 million on the books. I might have a conversation with your leader, Jared Goff. Thomas, for anyone to believe Hutch is going to come back 100% is absolutely foolish. Fair enough. Mr. Ed, the Lions have 10 new faces on the team next year. Yeah, probably will have some new faces for sure. Craig, do you think we trade Hooker and draft a quarterback? Thoughts? It's tough for me because, you know, Hendon Hooker, I think he's got some real abilities, especially if he is healing up and evolving. Would I want to trade him just to bring in a rookie? Man, I guess it comes down to, Craig, what do you get in return? If they're going to give me a 5th rounder, probably not. If they're going to give me a 2nd rounder, hey, go have fun over in the Jets. Go have fun in New York, man. Leonard, Mac, yes, DM5. Thanks, Dan. Everyone have a great day and be safe out there. Back at you, my friend. Mark, morning, Dan and the Duke Crew, and same to you, my friend. All right, guys, I'm going to go out and get out of here. I try to get a 30-second nap in before I get working. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Also, if you would be so kind, consider hitting that thumbs up button. If there is some sort of breaking news later today, I'll get it to you when possible and as quick as I can. Other than that, take care. Have a great day. Be kind to someone you don't know. Do something nice for someone we've never met before. Other than that, we'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, all. You're still here? What are you doing here? It's over. The show's over. Go home.